What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another reverse 1999 video. All right, guys, gonna talk about something I think that a lot of people are neglecting and are probably not advancing as quick as they should in places like Limbo because of this. Now, as you guys are aware, I am doing a challenge account. This is where I'm currently at right now. I'm on my challenge account where I'm only using 3-stars and 4-star units and nothing else. And I'm currently progressing through Limbo. I'm putting together a team right now to beat Limbo 5 with the 2 damn body bags. And I think a lot of people are struggling, especially I'm noticing it in different places in comments, whether it's in Discord, wherever the case may be. I think a lot of people are neglecting some key units that can help you progress, even though they're 3 and 4-star units. I want to talk about one specific unit right now that, or maybe a combination of units that you might want to actually relook at again and stop whatever you're investing in and maybe go back to those units to help you progress. Okay, so let me show you guys my thought process here and why I think this is a pretty good idea. So first thing, tanks. Okay, people who soak damage, people who save your team, and those who can also kind of punish the opponents for attacking them, right? The Fool is a perfect example of a unit that has only 3 stars but excels at that probably better than anybody else, okay? So if you have not seen my video about him, the Fool here has a couple really unique things. Number one, the counter that he has called the Fool can actually taunt for 1 turn. When the caster is attacked, he also does 2 rounds of corrode. And corrode, if you don't know what this means, it pretty much ends the round by them taking Genesis damage, and it's the target's current HP times 20%. So it can be pretty hefty amount of damage, especially if you get it to 3 stars. It goes up to 35%. So this here alone can save your team and allow your DPS not to get 1 shot or 2 shot or whatever it is, and allow you to fully DPS without too much concern, right? And at the same time, it punishes the opponent by putting corrode on them for 2 turns. Not only that, but this unit also has an attack here called the Sage, where at 2 stars and 3 stars, you can remove Moxie from the opponent, allowing you to avoid a lot of ultimates and at times making opponents skip turns completely, right? And then lastly, the ultimate, his special here is Unexpected Improvised, where he does a mass attack, deals 280% mental damage to all enemies, and increases the duration of corrode even by 1 turn even more. So very, very strong unit. Pairing him, for example, with like LaSource, which is a healer, or even someone like Nick Bottom, can help him stay alive much longer and allow you to slowly defeat some of these more tough opponents, right? Now, currently I'm working on getting Nick Bottom up to 50. I think once I have him to 50, I'll be able to beat this. But I'm going to show you guys my progression here and why it might open your eyes a little bit and why it's important to kind of give yourself the opportunity to use some of these characters that no one is using, right? So we're on this battle right here, which I mentioned, the 2 garbage bag or body bags with Matilda in them. So you guys are aware, defeat all enemies, clear the stage within 12 rounds, 15 rounds. I'm not even worried about this. The only one I'm worried about is defeat all enemies within the 20 round time slot. Okay, here you can see here ultimate damage plus 15%. If the ultimate were a mass attack, it does 15 additional more. 2 3-star incantations gain healing done plus 30%. So very important for this one here, especially because you want to be able to heal more with LaSource and keep everybody alive. All right, guys, so I'm just going to give you a quick test run. I'm most likely not going to be able to beat this yet. The keyword is yet. I know I can because I've done this before and I've got them down to 20% HP left with a little bit of luck in my lap here. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I did and how I set it up. So start off with the counter first. Now this buff the Fool gets for 2 turns. Damage taken reduction and critical resist rate 25%. So for 2 turns, he gets that positive status. Now if you combine the 2 buffs here for Nick Bottom, you can see what the buff does here, right? I'll hold it down for you. 1 target gets reality defense and mental defense plus 35%, and for 2 rounds reduces 35% damage taken. Okay, so very, very powerful, especially for the Fool with the counter. So you guys can see here, I'm going to get the buff from the Fool, and I'm also going to get the buff from here, making the damage reduction be absolutely crazy. So look at this. He takes almost like no damage at all with these buffs on there, right? Now, they will do AoE once in a while. Don't fret too much about that. Just ignore that, and you'll see the corrode here now does pretty decent damage. Again, jump back into here, do yourself a heal. Now this is important, okay? You want to heal here, okay? But you also want to make sure that you combine these 2 and give these guys the opportunity to stop Moxies from growing too much, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get Nick Bottom up, and we're going to go back to taunting. And you can see Nick already has his special up, and that's a really powerful special because it actually allows you to gain a massive shield and saves you from dying, right? So we're going to go ahead and put this. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let's see if I can get. Let's see if we can remove some of these cards. Try to get another taunt. Perfect. We got a taunt in there. That's what you want. Okay, so we got this. We're going to toss this on him. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of damage now. Actually, we can probably stop. You know what? We might actually eat this special and ignore it for now and save this for later. And let's go ahead and do a buff instead on... Let's do a buff on here, okay? Watch this now. Now watch how little damage he takes, okay? Not to mention Nick Bottom is giving him that shield. And that shield is huge. Look at this. Look how much of that shield he gets, right? Now, look at the little bit of damage he's going to absorb from this special. Nothing. Didn't put a dent in him, okay? So this is what I mean. Like, if you guys can put together a pretty strong team here with Corrode and Poison, look at 2,174 for almost doing nothing, right? Very, very simple strategy to set up, and you guys can honestly take advantage of this and probably beat this content with a lot of ease rather than focusing all on your 5 and 6 stars as your main DPS. You guys can put in one DPS, put in someone like the Fool, and then give yourself a healer, and you guys should be fine. Now, my DPS Moan Lich is not a smart one here because it's a weaker... I need a plant DPS, right? So Cornbloom, for example, would be perfect in this stage to absolutely destroy these guys. So those are the kind of units you want to bring to here because I feel like they're going to be great DPS to chip away at the opponent. And number two, they're going to give you the opportunity to have the advantage in affiliation. And number three, they'll survive a lot longer, right? Because of the ability to absorb so much damage by the Fool, you're going to have no problem beating these guys out. So let's just go ahead and do this ultimate here. Or not the ultimate, sorry. We're going to save the ultimate for the next move. We're going to keep using the shield, keep absorbing damage, right? Here we're going to just do normal attack. Again, I got these guys down to 20%, right? So I'm just working on getting Nick Bottom maxed out, and then I'm going to work on a plant DPS to bring in to help finish this off with stronger affiliation, okay? So there you go. You guys see that? Okay, now you guys notice how we've got 1, 2 corrodes. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go Moxie this one. We'll eliminate this one. We'll do this special in order to make the corrode last longer, and then we're going to go ahead and remove this Moxie as well, okay? So her Moxie here is going to remove 5, right? And then he's going to AoE here, going to keep that corrode on there. And then you guys can see 1 down there, okay? Now see the importance here of having a tank is so critical, guys. Look at that. We're almost halfway there. You guys can see how this makes a difference, right? I'm hoping you guys can at least see it because I'm really trying to promote smart gameplay here combined with some units that nobody ever uses, right? I think you guys will come to appreciate a lot of these guys, a lot of these units because they're easy to build. They're not resource heavy. And quite honestly, they can put up some fairly decent numbers, right? So just remember that while you're playing this. Okay, so let's go do another counter here. We'll do a heal. I mean, we're going to die here no matter what. But again, not a bad amount. I think, again, once I get Nick Bottom to 50 and I get a proper DPS in here, I think it's game over. He's going to die here for sure. So he's going to get corrode on there for 2 turns. That's fine. This guy actually might end up killing both guys here. Oh, there you go. Okay, 1 down. Okay, we have our ult ready, hopefully. Perfect. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do this. Get some HP back. See what I mean, guys? Like, look at that. Imagine you had Cornbloom here, right? Instead of Moan Lich, who's a weaker affiliation to these guys. This would actually be a lot better. So anyways, I want to show you guys that because I think a lot of you are neglecting tanks, and tanks could really, really help you guys push content in places where you don't have a challenge account. I have a challenge account. My goal here is to beat this entire thing with 3 and 4 stars only, right? And you guys are aware, I've been talking about this for a while now. And I mean, these guys are doing better than my 5 and 6 stars because of 2 reasons. Number one, they're not resource heavy. Number two, I can push a lot of the resonant to max, for example, without having to worry about farming forever. Number three, I don't have to worry about inside 3s, just inside 2s. And lastly, you have more variety and smarter gameplay. A lot of these units bring so much to the table that no one is even looking at. And I think tanks like the Fool are a prime example. I think Alien T is another one here. Let me show you. Who's also really, really good as a tank, has disarm and silence as a mass attack. Imagine having that there, right? Very, very powerful again. So I highly recommend, guys, having yourself a tank in place that can taunt, that can reduce damage. Like, look at this, reduce damage by 60% for 3 rounds. That's crazy tank, right? So don't neglect these guys. Like, they're so good to have. And again, it frees up your DPS to do way more damage than they normally would if a tank is not there. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was insightful. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.